Okay, well, there we go.
Good evening. Welcome to the Bellefonte Borough Council Business Meeting for Tuesday, February 17th, 2026. Prior to our business meeting, Council met in an executive session to discuss land acquisition, litigation, and personnel issues. Would you please join me and rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Tosti-Vasey, may I have roll call, please?
Okay. Mr. Brackville.
Here.
Miss Cleaton.
Here.
Miss Dan.
Here.
Mr. Eaton.
Here.
Mr. Johnson.
Present.
By Zoom. Miss McKean.
Here.
Mr. Kelly.
Here.
Miss Tosti-Vasey, I'm here. Miss Wilson.
Present.
Miss Meckley. Excused. And Mayor Johnson is excused.
Thank you. Under Act 65 of 2021, if a matter is not on the agenda, Council may not take official action on it with the following exceptions. Council can act on matters relating to potential or real emergencies. Council may add a matter of agency business to its agenda through a majority vote. The Council must state why the action item is being added to the agenda. Are there any action items to be added this evening?
Madam President, I don't really have anything to add to that, but if I can just make an announcement about the microphones, if that's permissible, please. I try to listen to at least parts of CNET from previous meetings. I would highly recommend that you pull your microphone very close to you, closer than you want to probably, and speak loud enough. It is very difficult to hear everybody. I know we're going to be making some corrections, hopefully in this room, but I would encourage you to please use your microphone, pull it close to you, and talk loudly. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Public comment. Borough Council intends to take public comment related to the motion that is on the floor after it has been duly made and seconded. The order of comments will be public comment, then council comment, including proposed amendments by council members. If amendments are proposed to the original motion, the public will then only comment on the amendments before final votes are taken. You must be a Bellefonte resident, a nonprofit representative, a business owner, or an official representative of another governmental agency. Speakers shall identify themselves by name and street, municipality if outside the borough of Bellefonte. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. Under written communications in your packet, there is a flyer for Seniors for Safe Driving. They're hosting a mature driver improvement course on Thursday, March 19th from 12:30 to 3:30 p.m. at the Bellefonte Senior Center. If you're age 55 or older, I think it's a nominal cost of about $17. This is classroom only, and I think you get a discount on your auto insurance for taking the course.
Deb? I just noticed that I checked this out, that office is not open. That has been closed. So I
That's on the flyer that was in Carrie Benninghoff's newsletter.
Okay, well, the office has been closed, so they're not holding anything there at that location.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Just for general notice.
Good to know. The 2026 Pennsylvania State Association of Boroughs Annual Conference is May 31st to June 3rd, 2026. Council members, if you're interested in registering for the conference, please contact Alyssa. This is for information only, no council action required. Correspondence is in your packet from the Center County Recycling and Refuse Authority regarding an upcoming household hazardous waste collection event and a recycling survey for residents. This is for information only. No council action is requested. Consent agenda. All items listed on the consent agenda are considered routine and will be acted upon by a single motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless members of council request specific items to be removed for separate action. I'm asking for a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make that motion, Brackbill.
I'll second it, Dan.
Thank you. I noticed that there are administrative corrections to the draft minutes from February 2nd. Are there any items to be removed? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Elected official and staff reports. This evening we have a proclamation for Black History Month, in February. Joanne will be reading the proclamation since Mayor Johnson is not present this evening.
Whereas the Borough of Bellefonte recognizes the profound contributions that African Americans have made to the history, culture, and progress of our community, our state, and our nation, and whereas Black History Month is an annual observance established to honor the achievements, resilience, and enduring legacy of African Americans in shaping the social, cultural, economic, and political fabric of the United States, and whereas acknowledging the struggles and triumphs of African Americans throughout history encourages understanding, appreciation, and unity among all residents of Bellefonte, and whereas education about Black history fosters awareness of the past injustices and inspires continued efforts towards equality, justice, and inclusivity in our community. Now, therefore, I, Buddy Johnson, Mayor of the Borough of Bellefonte, on behalf of the Borough Council, do hereby proclaim February 2026 as Black History Month in the Borough of Bellefonte and urge all residents to celebrate the rich heritage, achievements, and contributions of African Americans. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the Borough of Bellefonte to be affixed this 17th day of February 2026. But Jean Buddy Johnson, Mayor, Borough of Bellefonte. And we have 3 people who are accepting the proclamation this evening. They are Corinne, what's your last name? Colleen Crifton from AAUW, Leslie Lang is the annual coordinator of the Juneteenth commemoration, and Terry Watson from Community, I always get this wrong, Campus and Community United.
Close enough. Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Terry Watson. I am the chair of the Community, Campus, and Unity, and really excited and happy that Bellefonte is doing a proclamation for Black History. I'm gonna keep my remarks real short because I know we have 2 others, but I also like to recognize the fact that I'm told. That works. Okay. That each February we do take time to reflect on the contributions of African Americans throughout the United States. And one of the things that I've been mindful of is that this year it is also the 250th anniversary of this country. And this year also for Black History, our theme is the 100th celebration for Black History. So Black History, for those who don't know, was started 100 years ago by Carter G. Woodson and Minister Jesse Bullen. And they really understood the importance of making sure that America understood that Black history is also American history. And with this year's theme, Century of Black History commemorations, I really am encouraged that this proclamation reminds the residents of Bellefonte that the story of freedom and independence in this country cannot be told without us, and our history cannot be celebrated without us. And then those who choose to remember American history without the contribution of Black Americans remember as a false narrative. So again, I thank you all for this proclamation, and I'm going to pass the mic on to my sister. Which one? Colleen Covico.
Hello, thank you, Madam President and the Council, for giving us this opportunity to speak to you today. My name is Colleen Krefker. I'm a former State College board member, and I'm also now the president of AUW, State College. So why do we cherish Black History Month? Black History Month is not just a celebration, it's a declaration. It's our refusal to be erased, rewritten, or reduced to footnotes. In the face of recent administration efforts to negate, distort, and rewrite our history, this month matters now more than ever. When books are banned, when classrooms are silenced, when the truth is labeled divisive, we must remember truth is not dangerous, but erasure is. As James Baldwin once said, know from whence you came. If you know whence you came, there are absolutely no limitation to where you can go. Black history is really American history. It's the story of builders, innovators, freedom fighters, educators, healers, artists, and dreamers who shaped this nation, even when the nation refused to acknowledge them. We cherish this month because our ancestors survived what was meant to break them. And still, with that, they created culture, science, justice movements, and hope. Because they taught us that resilience can look like excellence, and that joy itself can act as a defiance. As Maya Angelou once reminded us, you may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. So today, we thank you for making this proclamation in this county and for continuing the work of honoring, protecting, and uplifting Black history. And in the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr., the arc of the moral universe is long, but it does bend towards justice. Thank you.
Good evening, council members. My name is Leslie Lang. I am the Director for Adult Learner Programs and Services at Penn State. I am also the Forum on Black Affairs 2023 Humanitarian of the Year, and I am, as Joanne mentioned, the Juneteenth Planning Celebration and Commemoration for State College. It gives me great pleasure to see that Bellefonte is actually making this proclamation today, so thank you. And as Terry said, this marks the 100th anniversary of celebrating and recognizing Black History Month annually. Carter G. Woodson launched Negro History Week in 1926, and it was Kent State University in 1970 that made it a whole month-long celebration, and it was acknowledged as a month-long celebration by President Gerald Ford in 1976, who urged the nation to honor the accomplishments of Black people. Voting and education continue to play a vital role in advancing our rights, and it's presently under attack, making these proclamations urgent to us locally. At Penn State, our theme was Undaunted Hope. We have to be self-determined, courage, and desire to empower one another if we are to triumph over evil. As Black people, voter engagement, economic justice are still our priorities. We have decades of presidential support that have been instrumental in advancing initiatives sparking celebrations until now. But the spirit of the people, the students, our residents, have a legacy of undaunted hope, resilience against oppression, and the responsibility to educate future generations. So we continue to challenge the stereotypes. We strengthen our democracy by promoting social justice, dignity to all humanity. And we held an annual week in commemoration for Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King in our 51st banquet and our day of service, and more than 1,500 people showed up for just those two events. I think that states enough for itself. It's still current and still active. So celebrating Black history is America's history, and we provide everyone the opportunity to learn more, creatively share their thoughts, their feelings, their emotions, and explore historical facts that deserve the attention of diverse audiences. We celebrate culture, we build awareness, engagement, empathy, and we grow a sense of belonging in our local communities when we do this. Memories are made, seeds are planted, and hearts are opened. Black leaders, activists, organizers form the backbone of the U.S. labor movement. And even when forces for structural racism and segregation sought to stifle those contributions, our resolve to fight for workers' rights alongside many civil rights still remains unshakable. Black women in particular have played an enormous role in the movement's legacy and development, and tonight I chose to highlight Mary McLeod Bethune. In 1904, with $1.50, 5 young students, she started a school for Black girls in Florida, and it's today's Bethune-Cookman University. Much like Mary McLeod Bethune, who broke those boundaries and used her platform as an advocate, I do too. So I invite you to attend the 100th year celebration of Black History Month. It's going to be our Beads and Brilliance Gala, Friday evening, February 27th at 3 Dots downtown. There will be history, there will be food, and there'll be dancing, and we'll be raising funds for the 1865 Freedom Legacy Scholarship that benefits high school students. And you might like to know that our inaugural, we had 3 awardees, and 1 came from Bellefonte High just last year. So racial justice and economic justice are intrinsically intertwined, and I'm proud to have founded this scholarship that helps our high school students further their education and attend the college of their choice. I wrap up my remarks with a quote from Mary McLeod Bethune. I leave you love. I leave you hope. I leave you the challenge of developing confidence in one another. I leave you a thirst of education. I leave you a respect for the use of power. I leave you faith. I leave you racial dignity. I leave you a desire to live harmoniously with your fellow man. I leave you, finally, the responsibility to educate young people. Let's take this seriously. Let's do all we can for as many as we can. The change continues with us. Thank you very much for listening, and thank you for proclaiming Black History Month in Bellefonte.
They would like to have a picture with yourself.
Take a vote on the proclamation? No. Did we take a vote on the proclamation? Or is there a vote? There is no vote. There's no vote. Okay. That's right, because it's a mayor's thing. It shall be. Did you announce the executive session? At the beginning, okay. Must have been. Yeah. That's right. Oh, no, it's no votes. If a tree falls in the middle of the forest. Yes.
Next on the agenda is the police report submitted by Chief Whitmer. Does anybody have any questions for Chief? Chief Whitmer, do you have anything to add?
Sure. Good evening, everyone. Hopefully everyone had a chance to look over my report. I would like to note the two highlights that I have on here. Of course, Officer Barnes started with us beginning of January, and for a job well done by our school resource officer, Officer Lyons. He was presented with a certificate of recognition for a job well done during a medical emergency within the school district. He acted without pause. He handled the situation. His training kicked in. He did a great job, and he was recognized by the school district. So congratulations to Officer Lyons. Does anyone have any questions for me?
I have one thing.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. With the streets, we are having issues with during storms, snowstorms. And are there signage got to be put up for people so they understand where they can park and where they can't park, or how's that working? 'Cause I don't see people going to an ordinance and looking at something like that.
Are you talking about like the snow emergency, or?
Yeah, anytime there's a snow, because I thought there were signs going to be established in these different areas.
I think we talked about that once the ordinance gets, I think we're going to do some kind of snow route with the ordinance. I think it is coming. Yes, it's coming later, I believe.
Thank you.
If that answers your question.
Yes, it did.
Okay.
Thank you.
I just had a question on the report. There were a number of offenses occurred, and then at the bottom it says all others, which is quite a large number. What kind of calls are they, or what kind of responses? The 376.
Those are all, anything else we respond to, suspicious activities, anything that's not when the offenses occurred, that's what it represents. Any other calls that we go to, EMS calls, suspicious activities, any kind of traffic incidents, we do foot patrol, anything like that, that's where that gets notated.
And is that a typical amount? That's a lot of calls.
No, we handle between 400 and 500 calls a month, with, probably 5 to 6 officers, so they're quite busy every month, which is a good thing.
Are there any other questions for Chief Whitmer? Seeing none, moving on, the parking report is in your packet. Office of, go ahead.
That close enough? You're welcome. In the parking report, there are 2 pages in this report that state that they're regarding one-day permits and temporary permits. They say that no data were returned on those 2 pages. Does this mean that we had no one-day or temporary permits in January 2026, or does that mean we're having issues with this part of the cloud program, or is it something else?
That just means that there are no permits that were issued in January.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Are there any other questions about the parking report? Okay, Office of Community Affairs. There are 2 action items on the agenda this evening. Gina, if you'd like to help us out with this.
Good evening, Council. There are 2 action items. There are 2 land development plans for you to review and consider approval. I outlined some more information in my report. The first one is a final plan for lot consolidation of lands of the Bellefonte Cemetery Association and lot addition of lands of Andrew J. and Jennifer L. Eustick. And I think maybe just doing them individually might be best in case you have questions.
Oh, absolutely. So the Office of Community Affairs is recommending approval of these. I'd like a motion and a second to approve the final plan for the lot consolidation of the lands of the Bellefonte Cemetery Association and lot addition of lands of Andrew J. and Jennifer Eustick.
I'll make that motion. Dan?
Second, Tosti Vasey.
Okay, thank you. Are there any comments or questions?
I just wondered, are they, when the consolidation, is that reducing the size of their property, or is it expanding it?
So it is reducing the size of the cemetery property and then adding on a slight bit of land to the private property. And this is just sort of to correct a informal sharing of that land prior to the current property owners. And so now that there are new property owners, or they've been there several years now, but they're relatively new, the Union Cemetery and the property owners are just trying to correct this. And so it will be a small reduction in size for the cemetery, and then a slight increase for that particular property on Howard Street.
Okay, thanks for the
You're
clarification.
Welcome. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The second item is to approve the preliminary and final land development plan for 821 East Bishop Street.
Yes, this land development plan was presented at the January Planning Commission meeting. It was the Planning Commission recommended conditional approval to council. At the last council meeting, we tabled it so that we could get more reports in from the applicant. We, as I've mentioned in my report, we have all of the reports have been submitted. The only thing that is still outstanding, which is pretty typical, is the traffic studies, and that's underway right now. There's review comments and corrections going back and forth. And then we also have a pending fire safety review from the fire department, which is done by Walt Schneider. So those are the only two reviews. So I have on the agenda to consider approval for this preliminary final land development plan, conditional upon completion of the traffic study and the fire department review.
Okay, I'd like to call for a motion and a second to approve the preliminary final land development plan for 821 East Bishop Street, the former Rite Aid, conditional upon completion of the required traffic study and fire department review.
So moved, Brackbill.
Second, Eaton.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you. The next scheduled HARB meeting is Tuesday, February 24th at 8:30 a.m. The next Planning Commission meeting is Monday, March 9th at 5 p.m. In your packet is the Interim Borough Manager's Report. Mr. Probolka, do you have anything to add?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. I just want to put a little bow on a comment in my written report about a meeting that we had today with CEDACOG's Leslie Hosterman, who is our Community Development Block Grant Administrator. If you recall, we had at a recent work session spoken with Council about some cost containment issues that have emerged with the ADA improvements at the Talleyrand Suspension Bridge. Council directed staff to look at some alternatives and perhaps present back some options to consider. So one of those options that we think has a great deal of merit is to repurpose those funds from that were appropriated for the suspension bridge improvements to the ADA access issues at the Talleyrand Park train station. Right now that facility is not ADA accessible. There was a recent attempt that we made to apply for funding for the DCED Multimodal Transportation Fund to install a ramp and push-button entrance to the train station itself. Unfortunately, that grant was unsuccessful, and there are also restrooms in the train station that that have accessibility issues. So what we intend to propose for council's consideration would be what amounts to a budget amendment for community development block grant funding to reappropriate those funds from the suspension bridge project to the train station improvement. And there are funds that were secured by Downtown Bellefonte, Inc. to work on the ADA access to the restrooms. We hope that those funds could perhaps be redirected to cover the deck material at the suspension bridge so that we could essentially get all projects done within available funding. The next steps would involve a formal request from council to approve the budget amendment for CDBG so that we could start the planning and design for those restrooms and access issues at the station itself. So more to come on that, but we did have I thought, productive meeting this afternoon with CEDACOG, and we do think there's a way that we could make use of those funds for another accessibility project that would be within budget. That concludes my report unless there's any questions. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
Can we go back to community affairs, because I had a question. Gina, in the CLG report, you said that you asked the State Historic Preservation Office for assistance in the community outreach and education program, correct?
In my report, it asked for suggestions, and so that was one thing that I asked or suggested could be part of future training opportunities.
So I think this is a great idea, and I agree that the community at large, as well as elected officials, could use this educational training. So I was thinking maybe you could discuss this possibility, discussing it with SHPO at the HARB meeting and with council to come to some kind of decision as to how we can have this work well for everybody.
Sure, definitely. One quick thought I had is, since we have so many new council members, it might be worth seeing if Frank Grumbine can come again and do just a brief overview for some of you who might remember. He came to do a brief overview of historic preservation and the purpose of HARBs, and so that might be one component of general education and outreach to the community, at least to give council a bit of an overview. Some of you may not be too familiar with historic preservation in general or our specific HARB and historic district. So,
thank you.
Okay, Environmental and Parks Committee. Ms. Tosti-Vasey has submitted her report. I actually have a question under chimney emission regulation discussion. What is a sidewall vented chimney?
I had to look that up myself. We didn't use that terminology during the discussion. Basically, it's when someone punches a hole in the side of the wall and shoots their fumes out the side of the house.
Is this for heating systems or your stove?
Could be anything. It's not. Sometimes it's steam. Sometimes it's what shouldn't be done, like taking your furnace gases and doing it out of the side. But I did some research on the internet, and it's called a sidewall chimney. So that's the way I wrote it up.
Are there regulations about the height from the ground about?
That's one of the things we're trying to work with to make sure that that doesn't. I know of at least one in the borough that's an inappropriate sidewall.
Okay.
But we need to. We haven't finished that part of it yet.
Yeah, I was curious about that. Are there any questions for Ms. Tosti-Vasey? Thank you. Finance and Administration Committee. Mr. Eaton, you have a verbal report?
Yes. Today at 4 o'clock we held our first Finance and Administration Committee meeting. Yes, I think we did about an hour and a half. Discussed numerous topics. I'll be submitting a a written report, and we will have a couple of motions at a subsequent meeting to consider.
Okay, thank you. Ordinance Ad Hoc Committee, Ms. Tosti-Vasey. Do you have anything to add?
Nope.
Are there any questions? Streets, Infrastructure, and Public Works Committee, Mr. Brackwell has submitted his report. Are there any questions? Thank you. Well, it's in the packet, so. Is there anything you would like to add? Okay. Liaison reports. There's a report from Scott wrote from the Bellefonte EMS. I'd just like to remind everybody that Monday, February 23rd at 7 p.m. will be the open house at the EMS building for council members who are interested in attending. Workplace Safety Committee, do we have anything to add for that? Mm-hmm. Alyssa?
No, I have nothing to add.
Okay. Center County Library Board, that report has been submitted. Are there any questions? Public Transit Task Force report has been submitted. Any questions? Nope. Okay, current and there is nothing after the public transit. There's nothing submitted.
Bellefonte Fire Department Executive Committee met this month, or in January. I wasn't available, so I wasn't able to attend that. The Center Region Council of Governments Public Safety Committee meeting minutes went out from 2/10/26. I did attend that meeting, and that's it. Civil Service, we didn't have anything.
Great, thank you. Under current and old business, I would like to now open a public hearing to receive public comment on the proposed ordinance number 0217-202601, titled Chapter number 530, Vehicles and Traffic. Is there any public input? Seeing none, I'm closing the public hearing. Approval of ordinance number 0217-202601, amendment to parking prohibitions in chapter number 530, Vehicles and Traffic. I'm asking for a motion and a second to approve ordinance number 0217-202601, amendment to parking prohibitions in chapter number 530, Vehicles and Traffic.
I'll make that motion. Dan?
Thank you.
Second, Wilson.
Thank you.
I would like to amend the ordinance with one addition. Under section 530-42, snow and ice emergency, paragraph B, I would like to add reverse 911 service after via website in the first sentence of this paragraph. We did that at our last snow emergency, and I think it worked very well, and I'd like to see that continue. But it was missing from the ordinance.
Can we make this a friendly amendment with consensus?
Yeah, we have to have somebody second it, and then we can do that.
I'll second that, Brackville.
Joanne, would you just repeat that for me again,
yes,
please?
under
Thank you.
section 530-42, snow and ice emergencies, paragraph B is about how to notify the public. I would like to add reverse 911 service after via website in that first sentence in the paragraph.
Via website, comma.
Reverse 911
Okay.
service.
Okay.
comma,
And that's what that particular
service is
called.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Excellent idea. Thank you. All right, thank you. Excellent. All in favor of the amended motion, say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you. I'd now like to open a public hearing to receive public comment on proposed ordinance number 0217202602, titled Chapter 249 Disorderly Conduct. This is in relation to the possession and consumption of alcoholic beverages during borough-approved special events. Is there any public comment? Seeing none, I'm closing the public hearing. I'm calling for a motion and a second to approve ordinance number 0217202602, amendment to Chapter 249, Article 2, permitting possession and consumption of alcoholic beverages during borough-approved special events.
So moved, Tosti Vasey.
Second, Brockville.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Are we on the second item?
Yes.
Yes.
I can't always hear well, so the second item, approval of ordinance.
Yes, this is the ordinance about
Okay.
consumption of alcohol
Okay.
at public events.
Got it. Thank you.
We've had a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Okay, thank you. The motion passes. Under new business, the Streets, Infrastructure, and Public Works Committee recommends the council authorize the borough to engage Vialytics for the implementation of its AI-powered road and infrastructure management system. I'm calling for a motion and a second to authorize the execution of an agreement with Vialytics for the implementation of its road and infrastructure management system, with payment to be made from our liquid fuels fund.
I'll make that motion. Dan?
Thank you.
I'll second it. Wilson?
Thank you. Any discussion?
Just one comment on the liquid fuels eligibility. While we were told by the representative from Vialytics that this is a liquid fuels eligible expense, I was not able to confirm that with our local liquid fuels representative, Matt Knepp. I'm waiting to hear back from him on that. If there is, I do think it is going to be a valid expenditure, but if that should change, I guess I'll report back.
Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Could we have a roll call vote, please?
Certainly.
Thank you.
Mr. Brackbill?
Yes.
Miss Clayton?
Yes.
Miss Dan?
Yes.
Mr. Eaton?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson? Is he still on?
Yes, he's on. I think he's got to unmute.
Doug? Okay. Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. McKean? Ms. McKean?
Yes.
Ms. Tosti Vasey, yes.
We got you. I think there's a delay. There's got to be.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Okay. It's unanimous.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson, you need to come home. Resolutions to the Pennsylvania State Association of Boroughs, PSAB. Current PSAB legislative policy priority information is included in the council meeting materials. Council may discuss new policies that would be submitted to the PSAB in the form of a resolution for the legislative priority process to take place at the annual conference in June. Council may approve resolutions to be submitted to PSAB for consideration in their annual legislative priorities process. A work session will be scheduled in March to discuss resolutions to submit to PSAB. In your packet is a list of all the resolutions that were voted on for 2025 and also past resolutions that were reauthorized for an additional 3 years. Take a look at what's in the packet. see if there's anything that's of particular interest to you or you feel would be of interest to the borough. If there's something that you think would be of importance to the municipality but that you don't see it listed, bring it to the work session in March, and then we can send our recommendations to PSAB. They need to have they need our submittals by April 1st so that it can be acted on at the annual conference. Public comment regarding issues not on the agenda. No, this is for information only, sorry. Information only, no council action is required. This will be at a work session next month. Public comment regarding issues not on the agenda. This public comment period is for oral comments regarding items not listed on this meeting agenda. Speakers shall identify themselves by name and street, municipality of outside the borough of Bellefonte. Comments are limited to 3 minutes maximum. Any comments? Seeing none. Council members' comments for the good of the order. Mr. Kelly. Ms. Tosti-Basie.
I had one constituent who called me last week concerned about data centers and incarceration. I explained to her that the zoning officer and the ordinance ad hoc committee are looking at the data center issue. We have not done anything with it yet because we've been dealing with the saldo, but we will be looking at that as well. As an addition, I was able, while I was at another conference unrelated to the borough, found someone whose Pike County had created a data center ordinance, and I forwarded that on to Gina for incorporation and information so that we have some background to start off with.
Randy.
I have nothing tonight. Thanks.
Okay, Mr. Probolka.
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Ms. Dan.
I have a couple of things. I did send you all an email that I received. You may have received it also. It is America 250 PA. It is the Center County Kickoff event. It is on Monday, February 23rd at 12 p.m. at Lambert Hall. There are light refreshments. In the email, which I can't find the rest of it right now, there is an agenda with that too, so it'll be nice for anybody that can attend that. You are to RSVP. There is a place to click for that. As far as PSAB, it is one of my favorite parts of serving on Borough Council is talking to other council members, learning from other boroughs, having some fun, and spending some time with fellow council members too. I would encourage you, if you can, to please make time to do that. It is a time commitment. I always think about it twice before I go, and as soon as I'm there, I am so happy that I'm there. It is really, really valuable. So I encourage you to try. Thank you.
So I had a constituent approach me about a concern, and they came to me because I'm a pet owner and a dog owner, and I do walk my dogs occasionally in Talleyrand Park in the waterfront. That person was concerned that there was a lot of fecal matter left by dog owners, and that there were no bags in the stands, you know, the poop bags, and they were extremely concerned because then it makes it a very uncomfortable situation for other people who do not understand why dog owners do not police after their animals. So wondering what we can do. Maybe this is something for us to consider about enforcing the ordinance about policing at your dog, or do we need to maybe perhaps put some signage up or do some education to remind people that that is not only, you know, for other people's, enabling other people to enjoy the walk, but also a health hazard. So.
Thank you. Shauna. John.
I wanted to say something about the geese to follow on with Claudia's comment, but I just can't. So nothing for me of seriousness.
Okay, thank you. Not to pile on with Claudia's comment, but everything that was frozen solid a couple of weeks ago is no longer, and there's too much of it. Please, please pick up after your dogs. With that said, could I have a motion and a second to adjourn?
Make that motion. Dan?
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? We are adjourned at 8:20. Thank you.